Once upon a time, there was an old lady who lived in a small village. She was known for her kindness, wisdom, and perpetual happiness. The villagers loved her dearly, often visiting her for advice or to share their troubles. One day, a young man from the village approached her and asked, "Why are you always so happy? No matter what happens, you never seem sad. Don't you ever feel down when things go wrong?" The old lady smiled gently and replied, "My dear, life is full of ups and downs. Some days are good, and some days are bad. But I've learned that happiness comes from within, not from the things that happen around me." The young man was puzzled and asked, "What do you mean? How can you be happy when bad things happen?" The old lady thought for a moment and then shared a story from her own life. "When I was young, I had a family, a husband and children. We weren't rich, but we were happy. One day, my husband became ill, and we didn't have enough money for medicine. We tried everything, but he passed away. It was the saddest day of my life. I cried and cried, thinking I would never be happy again." The young man listened carefully, as the old lady continued, "After some time, I realized that staying sad all the time wouldn't bring my husband back. My children needed me, and I needed to find a way to be happy again. I began to look at life differently. I understood that life would always have both good and bad moments, but I decided I wouldn't let the bad moments steal my happiness." The young man was astonished. "But how did you do that?" he asked. The old lady smiled and said, "Every morning, when I wake up, I tell myself, today is a new day, and I will find something to be happy about. Some days are harder than others, but I always find something, even if it's small. Maybe the sun is shining, or a flower is blooming, or I see a friend. There's always something to be thankful for." The young man thought for a moment before asking, "But what if something really bad happens? How can you still be happy?" The old lady nodded, acknowledging the difficulty of the question. "It's not always easy," she replied, "but I remind myself that everything passes. Even the bad times won't last forever. When something bad happens, I tell myself, this too shall pass. I focus on the good things I still have, like my health, my friends, or simply the fact that I am alive. Happiness is a choice. You can choose to focus on the bad and be sad, or you can choose to find the good and be happy. It's not always easy, but it is possible." The young man thanked the old lady for her wise words, then left her house with a new perspective. From that day on, he made an effort to find something good in every situation. Just as the old lady had taught him, slowly, he realized that his life became better. Even when things went wrong, he learned to stay positive and find happiness in the small things. The old lady's story spread throughout the village. More and more people began to understand that happiness isn't about what you have or what happens to you, but about how you choose to see life. They learned to be happy in every situation, just like the wise old lady. And so, the village became a happier place, thanks to the old lady who taught them all the secret to true happiness. Happiness is a choice that comes from within. No matter how difficult life may get, we can find joy in the small things and choose to focus on the good. Life's challenges will pass, but a positive attitude helps us remain strong and content.